Scott Narver. I cannot wait because WrestleMania 40 is right around the corner and Cody Rhodes very well may finish his story.
Jake Lloyd Bacon, I don't care about that. WrestleMania 40, Cody finishing his story. I'm excited for something else.
Oh, really? What are you excited about?
WrestleMania 41.
Oh, next year? Well, what happens at WrestleMania 41?
Brandy Rhodes starts her story.
Cody Rhodes finishes the story, and then what? Today on Pro Wrestling Palskis. Hey, Scott Narver. Uh-oh, this is a delay.
Hey, Jake Lloyd Bacon.
Oh, boy, that was one hell of a delay we're working with. Hello, everybody out there joining us, but very special welcome to those joining us live via the super exclusive patron-only live stream. If you want to join us for these and watch all of our technical difficulties at the start of an episode, well, you got to become a patron.
Why acknowledge all this at the beginning of the show? Someone's just tuning in for the first time. They're like, oh, they can't get it together. Like, just don't say it.
Because the people who are here, who are watching live, they get a little kick out of it. And they go like, oh, I'm watching, the music was a little wonky. And it's just fun. Sometimes it's just fun. Listen,
this is what you call out AEW for. You hate the the bad production. Would you be like, oh, they always acknowledge it and they say it's bad?
If I was getting paid what Tony Khan is paying himself from his father's money, listen, all right, shit would be smooth as ice here. You know who I'm really doing it for?
No,
I'm doing it for somebody very special in the chat. The current PWP World Champion Andrea Beeler, aka Pollen Hate. The record-holding 6-time PWP champ and longest reigning champ, Andrea Beeler, not in her current
choke on that, Ric Flair.
Yeah, not in her current run, but at one point, longest reigning champ. Andrea Beeler, one of the greats, shoo-in for the PWP Hall of Fame.
The greatest.
And
currently the greatest.
Currently the
Gunther
greatest.
can also suck on
currently it. The greatest. If you would like to challenge Andrea in April for
No, I don't.
Well, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the listener. Stop interrupting.
I'm listening.
Oh, you know what? That's true. You are a listener whenever you're not speaking.
Yeah.
Unlike me, who just thinks and ignores all the sound and input that comes in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Therapy is helpful. Okay. What was I saying? Oh, yeah, that's right. If you want to challenge that, you got to become a championship level patron by the first episode of April to become the PWP champ. That's, of course, patreon.com/PWPalskis. Andrew in the chat says, makes sense for the girl who has supported you guys through every iteration of this show. Laugh out loud. I feel like that was it's a very kind thing she's saying, but it also makes it seem like she's like, listen, I supported you during every iteration. Like there was a little bit of stink, like it wasn't always good, and I was still there even when it was not good.
What are you talking about?
No? You don't think that's what she's saying?
I don't think there's any stink to it at all.
Right.
It's like I've supported the show no matter who's walked through those doors.
And I'm thanking her for, standing there through the parts that weren't so great. That's what I'm saying.
Who knows? That could be now.
It is. Oh no, it's now. I'm not listening. Scott Narver, today we're talking all about the thing that everyone's talking about. Fucking stories. Goodness gracious. Story this, story that.
Drew McIntyre wrote a book. No one read it. Becky Lynch wrote a book. She says it's a bestseller. I don't know if that's true.
You don't know that it's true? You think that you can just say that? Is it like pizza in New York?
I feel like she did. Is that
because
WWE hasn't been boasting like, hey, New York Times #1 bestseller. I'm gonna check that right now.
Okay,
I'm gonna check.
You think that?
But
you think that this is
Cody's
sort of like how WWE just makes up like, oh, speaking of Andrew, like longest reigning title. It's like, yeah, but we don't count the other two, or the first time these two have ever met, of course, in this company, like where they just kind of make up stats. We're setting an all-time indoor record over the course of 3 nights.
Yeah, I feel like she did it now.
Yeah. Well,
So
she's allowed.
That's what I'm going to see. It's like, are you lying? #1 bestseller on Amazon in wrestling.
Oh, so, all right. There you go. There's
I'll be honest. I had not seen the cover to this book.
I haven't either. What's it look like? Should I put it on the screen for the viewer?
You should.
What's the name of their book?
The Man, Not Your Average Girl.
Oh, boy. That's a mouthful.
No, man and girl, not boy.
All right, let's see.
It says average twice.
This is a good looking book cover. What do you I don't understand what your reaction was.
What?
You made it seem like it was really bad the way that you had. At least.
No, I was shocked that I'd never seen this.
Oh, God.
I've sporadically watched WWE television. I've seen a lot of ads. I've seen a lot of Peacock ads.
Right.
And never at any point was there, by the way, one of our premier superstars wrote a book and this is what it looks like.
Okay, wait a minute. The book's title is Becky Lynch, The Man, Not Your Average Girl.
Yes, this happened less than a minute ago.
Written by Rebecca Quinn. So she is credited as Rebecca Quinn as the author, not by Becky Lynch.
Right. Because that's a fake name.
Yeah, I just thought that was interesting. I don't know. It was like Becky Lynch's The Man, but no, it's just called Becky Lynch, The Man, Not Your Average. That's a lot of title. That's a lot of title.
It is a lot of title.
She's a lot of woman. She's not your average girl. She's the man, not your average girl, and she's a lot of woman. There's a lot of things happening all at once.
I hope her book ends with that she won the title.
I hope it ends with she gave up a title to go have a baby.
That's the only way she could have the baby is if she gave up the title. Strict rules.
Right. So that's how you want her story to end.
Just
right,
book
now we're both
one.
just now we're all just chatting in the chat. You gotta get in the chat, everybody. All right. Well, today we're talking all about stories, specifically the Cody Rhodes story, because it is how many days now away? Probably 2 weeks, 3 weeks. When's Mania?
Yeah, I think we're about 2 weeks away from the time this
airing.
This episode releases.
We all want Cody to finish the story. He found his way back into this position after they clearly deciding that he wasn't going to do that this year because they wanted The Rock to come and do big money. We were loud and we got them to, we played right into their hands, depending on who you ask. I
ask Braun Strowman's hands. That's who I ask.
Really? You wanted to get them? So you asked them? Oh, I didn't realize that they spoke. I thought he just handed them out.
He's the original Senior Winston.
Oh, I could see that. Oh my God.
Get these.
Speaking of Braun Strowman's hands, did you see the video of him losing that arm wrestling competition that's been going around the internet?
No, I have not.
I have no context. Listeners probably know more about it than I do. So I'm just the disclaimers, I'm going to butcher this. But there's a video of him at some event.
Recently? Or is this years ago?
I have seen it recently for the first time. I don't know when it took place. So I'm going to, again, disclaimers. Okay. But it's him getting up in some guy's face who's laughing, and another big guy, but not nearly as big as Braun Strowman. And the guy's kind of laughing at him, and Braun's like fucking acting tough and like pushing on him. So it then just cuts to the two of them in an arm wrestling competition, and the guy easily beats him and is laughing through the entire victory.
Oh my God.
And it's thoroughly enjoyable. It shows that, listen, some muscles are just show muscles. Not that he's probably not still a giant, strong man, but whatever. This guy was stronger, clearly. Or he had that specific arm wrestling ability.
So this is a mystery man. We don't know who this man is.
I don't know who it is. You say we, assuming that I'm speaking for all
the global Earth.
Nope, nobody knows who he is. No.
Maybe he'll get signed. Maybe it's a grown-up Nicholas.
Wait, but that was his tag team partner. You think he would do that and laugh at him?
Yeah. show dominance. Then he probably peed on him.
That's the wrong big guy.
No, I recently watched the movie Stray, so it's in my head of like whatever you pee on is yours.
Right. Okay,
that's the motto in the movie.
All right, it's not a movie podcast. All right, so for the third time, I'm going to attempt to throw to our topic today. Cody Rhodes wrapping up the story.
Yeah.
Hypothetically, because we don't know the future, he wins the title at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Then what? What happens? Because generally what happens is when I finish a story, I close the book and I put it down and I generally never pick it up ever again. But that's not how wrestling works.
Doesn't. No.
So what happens? I mean, we've talked a little bit about, his father making it so that it's all about the chase. The chase is the story, right? The chase is what people want.
It's where the money is.
Yeah.
It's where the fans really connect to you. And Cody's got that in droves. Like he is so much so that the fans, as you had mentioned earlier, have taken over the booking decisions of what WWE is doing and like demanded these things and changed the course of The Rock's trajectory and his character. So will the fans be satiated?
Right.
Or will they demand more upon Cody winning the title? Like, what is the outcome? Will they be like, he finally did it, thank God? Are we going to be happy if it's like Roman Reigns challenges him at Backlash?
Right.
It's like, do we want Cody to just have for a while? Do we want the next big challenge?
So I think the question here is does he win it just to get right back into the chase? Is this a cash in? He has the title for the night and then loses it at Monday Night Raw, and then it's all about the chase again because this is such a part of him. Or do we want to see him sit and hang on to a title? What do you prefer?
I would prefer that he sits and has it for a while.
Okay,
I can't if it was an immediate takeaway with Damian Priest cashing in the Money in the Bank. That's all the wrong kind of reaction.
Sure,
that's frustration from fans. That's going like, I fucking give up.
Right.
No. And also from a guy that they don't want to see him have it that way.
Right.
From Cody, I should say.
Sure.
And maybe collectively they don't want to see him have it.
Yeah, I don't.
So it just doesn't work. Would they be happy if they teased it and he's coming after him? Sure, because then that's a challenge. But I wonder what it would be. I think what I'd kind of be happy with is Cody doing like a new sort of challenge, right? Like we've had the John Cena Open challenges and stuff like that, but maybe Cody going through and saying to everybody, it's like, this is open to NXT. This is open to all people. Like, if you want to come fight me, you come fight me for the world title, and we'll set it up, and it'll be a thing. It's not just like on the night you get to come challenge for the title.
Right. Okay.
But it's acknowledging like a list of contenders, and it's almost kind of set up. It's like, for the next 3 months who's coming for it and when.
Right. What if he because his whole thing is like he's a company man, and let's see, that's Adam Pearce he'll be working with, right? That's Pearce's SmackDown, if I'm not mistaken.
Aldis is
SmackDown. Okay. So, he can do something to that effect, and then Aldis can say like, well, listen, that's not, you can't just do this. And maybe he works with Cody, and Cody allows a big, like, open, hey, put your name in the hat kind of thing. But then there's either like a lottery or there's something that they have to do to earn it. But like, is Cody just being the guy holding the title gonna make him entertaining week to week and gonna make us continue to cheer him?
It seems like if he's being the uber good guy, then we would, but looming is some other bigger threat, right? And it's easy to say back in the day, it's like a Brock or somebody else, but we have to have new big threats.
Yeah.
And so we have Money in the Bank, but we have Omos. We have, I'm trying to think who else is like Braun Breaker.
Yeah.
Is around like the giants, because clearly he's doing well with fighting big obstacles.
Right.
that was Roman, whether it's other members of the bloodline. Obviously, Rock's going to be in the mix of all this,
Somehow,
that
yeah.
we know that challenge is going to be there. And I think if Cody has the title, you got to put it on the line, because it's just, that makes it huge.
Right, yeah.
That makes it epic.
It also, that it gives Cody something to lose more than just the match, or, you know, like, you know.
Right. It re-strengthens the bloodline. Right. And maybe that's if Rock doesn't win it, then Roman has issue with him and they go at it.
Yeah, that's the other thing too, is I just don't know that with all of this fucking talk of the story, they've put themselves in this position where I feel like after Mania, if he beats Roman, like, I don't want him to have anything to do with the bloodline for fucking a very long time. Like, it just feels to me like, oh, I've finished the story. Really, 2 weeks? That's what you think it's going to be?
No.
But you know what I mean, though? It just feels like any sort of retread to like, oh, but now they want it back now. And I get it. Like, that's what wrestling is. I feel like they've put all this onus on finishing the story in a industry where stories just generally don't end. And I feel like they might set themselves up here for, for failure, unless they really truly figure out a way to pivot him away in a completely new direction. Like I said, there has to be a new thing, a new threat.
Well, with the bloodline, it was Roman. He was going after Roman the whole time, and the others were just obstacles in the way. But we have a new gigantic villain in all of this, with Rock.
If he is the villain.
While Roman may fall and then take his time to go recuperate, or he gets his shot again and then fails to regain it, the next looming big challenge is Rock, and that feels different.
Right.
Because he is a legendary figure. He's had the title many times. He's come back to win it against Punk or whoever.
Right.
And can Cody defeat that? Can he hold his title back from him?
Right.
I think that changes, just like, oh, he's fighting Bloodline again. It's like, no, this is different.
Right. I mean,
so that doesn't get old, but that's it. That's still a storied long-term threat.
Right.
It's not, that's not Backlash.
Right. Yeah.
That's not fucking,
like, essentially, who's his first challenger? That's really, like, that's kind of the question here. Let me ask you this. Do you remember, I'm trying to think of similar situations, right, where there's been a chase that the fans got behind, and the immediate two that are always going to come to mind now, I think, are going to be Bryan and Kofi, like Wrestlemania and Kofi Mania, the other ones that had titles to them, you know?
I mean, Austin winning it from Shawn.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. I don't have that. That was back when I wasn't watching the pay-per-views. I was watching what happened the next night on Smack or on Raw. And so I just don't have that connection to those moments. But
I'm just saying, if you're going back to Rumble winners,
right,
who are going after the title, and then they get the title, they did it.
I guess I put those other two in this category because it seems like this wasn't the plan, right? Where it almost seems like the plan got altered in a way because of crowd reaction. So that's why I associate these three together. But yeah, you're right. I guess this is just any wrestling story where the chase occurred and then the guy won. I'm trying to specifically remember of like what happened after. Like, I don't remember what happened the months after Wrestlemania.
Same.
Like, I don't, was that when he kind of turned heel?
He fought people that conditionally, it's like, well, he's not going to lose.
Right.
He's not going to lose this guy. I can remember that Benoit had fought Kane.
Okay. See, I would have never pulled that.
Afterwards, I think it was Backlash, but like Kane was a quick contender. There were the people that you go, oh, he's fighting a big monster. Well, that monster's not going to fucking win the title.
Right. Right. It's a hurdle for the character. It's just, hey, he won the title, and now, and if we do that with Cody, is Cody good and charming enough to make it not feel like dull and predictable?
I think so, because there's probably a different crop of fans, and we still have the hope in no matter what, we're going to go like, yeah, well, Cody's not going to lose right away, right? And there might be a little bit of doubt, but I think for the most part, you're still going to go, Cody wins for a little while. And like I'm saying, with the bigger threat looming, there you go, okay, that's the real challenge.
Right.
That's when it's coming.
Right.
So as the champ, he gets a couple wins under the belt. We get the excitement, we get the pyro, we get the celebrations. But we want to see him win for a little bit. So we want to see him beat whoever. But someone will come around that we go, oh shit, it might be over now.
How long is enough? Like how long is him holding the title? Andrew Beeler in the chat says, Champ says he has to hold on to it. For how long? Like what suffices?
I am okay as long as it's 3 months.
That's your 3 months is your
That's my minimum.
interesting.
If he holds on to it longer, because he's the babyface, he can be screwed out of something. There can be the Money in the Bank. There can be something that totally screwed him over.
Right.
And then he's chasing again. But the minimum for me is 3 months. What is it for you?
I mean, I feel like with such a big story, God, that word is even now becoming kind of tired, but with such a big story they've been telling, it almost has to be like 6. I feel like it has to be half a year. It has to be something substantial. How long until SummerSlam? What's the break from? Is that only 3 or 4? April, May, June, July?
I feel like they changed it now. Isn't SummerSlam in July?
Yeah, that's only 3 months. Shit. Wow. There's only 3 months between Mania and SummerSlam.
My fruition's coming true. Let me see. Let me find the date here for SummerSlam.
In my brain, they're always on opposite ends, but they're not. I guess they're much closer than I anticipated, or than I thought they were. Rather, you looking it up?
It looks like it's August 3rd, 2024. So
August.
It's still it's the beginning of August.
Right. Okay. So
it was a little screwy.
May, June, July, August. So maybe 4 months. Yeah, maybe 4 months. That seems like not enough. I feel like he needs to get a big win against whatever that big threat is at SummerSlam. But then
that's
at that point,
probably Rock, right?
Yeah. But then at that point, though, do we start not like? I don't know. Does it start becoming? Does he? At what point do we just go like, yeah, cool, we want to see him fucking chase the title again?
Whether he gets injured, right? We have Punk.
Punk is a good one
coming back around that time.
You know what's good about?
But we have him, Drew. Like we have a lot of potential contenders, and we have a lot of upcoming stars. And the thing that we can never truly predict, right? Like as much as you can always go like, yeah, that guy's gonna win. This thing's gonna happen. You never know when they're really going to do a story pivot of someone.
Right.
When there could just be a point where they go, LA Knight turns and does this action, and we have this whole other trajectory to him, and it's a hard change, and no one's ever going to see it coming because they don't know what's planned for him. So something like that could always happen.
Yeah.
And we have somebody, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens.
I mean,
who the fuck ever. Just be
who knows
the new bad guy that becomes the champ.
Maybe Punk just decides like, yeah, I'm gonna come back and they're gonna cheer me, and then I'm gonna fucking clock Cody with a belt. Like, like maybe it's just like that's just what he wants to do. Punk's like, yeah, I'm gonna come back and get booed for Cody. Because if it is like another baby face,
year of.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say if it's another baby face, and he loses. That almost feels like maybe it's like, well, at least we like this guy who also has the title. Whereas if he loses to a heel that nobody wants to win, that's probably what Cody wants. But I feel like the fans who, the Cody Cryberries babies, if you will.
Cody Cryberries.
Yeah, the Cryberries. Yeah.
Such sweet, juicy tears.
Yeah. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like they're going to be unhappy with him losing to any heel right now.
Here's another factor. I know we've got the chat to address here in a moment, but I want to bring this in before we get to that. Another major factor in the year of 2024 that has been talked about by one person for a long time is
Ryback.
Well, okay, 2, because, God, he hates his wrestling marks. MJF.
Right.
The bidding war of 2024. So, under this different regime that is Triple H running creative, and I think him being savvy enough and going like, if I'm going to bring in MJF, I'm going to bring him in as a heel because he's way fucking better at it. And if I want to make a splash for this guy, it's not making him champ.
Oh, yeah.
It's bringing him in to acknowledge that him and Cody have a relationship, and MJF turning on him and then fucking owning it and laying into everybody, laying into Cody, and that's a potential feud, or you do whatever else with MJF, but Cody can lose the title to this new character, or lose the title because of this new character in the world of WWE that is a major factor. There is history. They can talk about it. MJF can talk about it. And what a way to debut someone.
Right.
I think that could work fucking great.
Yeah. I mean, who knows how long that might take? Like, I don't know. I don't know the fine details of MJF's contracts.
Well, when his contract is up,
Yeah.
it's different from, a release.
Oh, I know. No, I just meant
it'll
I don't even know when his contract is up. I don't even know. You said the bidding war of 2024, but I don't even know where in 2024 that is. That literally end of the year? Because that we could be pushing to next Mania. You could be discussing.
Could be,
Yeah.
but
Or Rumble.
well,
Next
chances
Rumble.
are no, because if it's 2024 and it ends,
Right.
then he's calling both up and going like, "What do you got? What do you got?"
Oh, I don't meant.
And he
I
could
don't
start
meant
up
deb-
at WWE
I don't meant
anytime.
I don't meant debuting at Mania, but leading to that Mania match is what I'm getting at. Like he could
I
be
see.
showing up around the Rumble time, around like late December, or, beginning of that. But I mean that's definitely a story that they've got in the pocket that I think would get more people to stay on to the Cody train. Because I think my big fear is that the luster just goes away once he's the champion. And then it's like you have to turn.
It hasn't for so many before.
Yeah.
It didn't for Stone Cold.
Right. Yeah, true.
It didn't for Rock.
What about what about like, and I don't think that they would do this because again, I think the new regime is just a little smarter, but what about like a Brock Kofi treatment? Like what if someone does just come in and just beats him kind of handedly, just to try to reset that underdog status of his? You think that's just dead in the water? You think that's a terrible, terrible idea?
I think all parties have to come to an agreement on that. And it's, if you're doing it, who's it for and what's to come later.
Right. Yeah.
So if it is a monster comes back, or if it is even TKO's going like Brock's money,
right.
The everything calmed down and we need to bring Brock back. I know he endorsed Cody, but we're going to reignite this thing again, do it again. And if it's like he comes in and destroys Cody, okay. And then Cody's saying like, then what's next for me? When do Brock and I get to go again?
Right.
What does this lead to? And not just, oh yeah, then Brock does the thing in Saudi with a UFC fighter,
right,
and
totally.
we're done here.
Right. Yeah.
Then Cody's got enough. I don't think he has enough clout. I think he has enough. I don't know, stubbornness. I don't know the word I'm looking for,
Right.
but just to be like, he will assert himself.
Yeah, he's respect.
No,
he's
no,
very
no. What's fucking
very
next?
respect driven and very astute,
Business oriented
and astute. Yeah, and I can imagine that him and Triple H see eye to eye when it comes to that. Like I can imagine Triple H responding positively to somebody like Cody.
If they put so much into making their top babyface, because Kofi wasn't made to be that.
No.
Kofi was made to be a
Right.
top babyface, but not the
No.
top babyface. It was still at a time when it's like, we can have many and we're fine.
Right.
They've put everything into Cody of being, they got Roman as their number one baddie. They got Cody as their number one goodie in the male and in the men's
Right.
division. And then they're building up all these others and have all these others.
And I mean,
At a high level,
so much
but
so
they're looking for a 1-on-1 right
so
now.
much so that they took their other champion, who's a babyface in Seth Rollins, and made him a supporting character in Cody's story. Like that's how much they are building this up.
Yeah.
The champ Andrew Bill in the chat saying that a Punk Cody feud is what she wants once Punk gets back. And so she just wants him to hold it as long as it takes for Punk to get back. Does not think the luster will go away with him holding the title because he's legitimately loved by the fans, because he's such a good person, first and foremost. You know, them wrestling fans, they really love a good person.
Well,
I know,
I
I'm
mean,
joking.
Cody's going to be the best man at some dude's
I'm
wedding.
joking.
They're in so deep on Cody because of the family lineage,
Right.
because of him setting up the story, because it's the chase for so long, because he came back. He's saying he wants to be at this company.
Right.
He was ousted, right? When enough of the old fans go like, yeah, well, we liked you. Oh shit, is that what happened to you? That fucking sucks. Come back to prove something. He fought through injury with the torn pec. Like they have so many things they can hang their hat on where they go, no, I fucking love this guy. That it's not a flash in the pan. It's not just a one-time thing. It's not a fun gimmick where they go, oh yeah, it's fun.
Right.
It's not a 10.
No.
It's not a Fandango doing the song. They're fucking in on this dude forever.
Yeah, and I think because of that, there's more leeway for the babyface versus babyface stories with him. But I don't think that's first. I definitely think post Roman, post Bloodline, I guess you could say. Like you said, I don't want it to be almost, but we need that. We need, like, he just needs a big monster to beat to solidify his place. It's almost like Nakamura, who he had already beaten, who's been beating. Like, that's the kind of person that needs to come in, not necessarily him, but someone who's in that spot.
AJ Styles,
heel AJ
brothers,
Styles,
like some other group
would be
gang.
Great. Yeah, a heel AJ would be really good. I don't want him to deal with another group because after dealing with Bloodline, like, just put him one-on-one with a big scary monster. A Lashley would be a good person if he was being booked as a heel. Somebody to beat that's just like a big scary monster for him to beat so we can get behind. And then honestly, I feel like a program with another baby face Sami Zayn could be really good, where it's like Sami being like, hey man, I was there for you. I helped you get to this spot. I was part of the Avengers or whatever the fuck story we think that they might be trying to tell here. Like, I'm here to cash in that favor. Like, I know I can beat you for this.
He doesn't have anything in the bank.
No, he doesn't have anything in the bank. He went to Saudi. He's got some money in the bank. Okay. But I think that
trader coins,
that could be a really good story where they're both good enough on the mic that they might make us believe that Cody could lose to Sami, that maybe they will make Sami champion, that maybe Cody's the guy to pass it to Sami at some point and make it so that Sami just comes so very close. But Cody just has whatever it is that he catches, and it'll be really good for both of them. It could make us like Cody more because he's so respect driven. It could plant a little seed of, is Sami going to turn again? Is he going to go back to being a bad guy again because he lost? Like, I think Sami's the next guy, not immediate, not like the next in line, but like Sami's overdue for that victory that I almost thought he might have against Roman. Like,
I don't
really,
think
you don't think he's, oh God, I think people fucking really love him. And
I think they do at times.
Yeah. You don't think it's universal like with Cody?
It's not as deep seated because Sami at times has I'm an underdog. Look, I wear hoodies.
Right.
And sit-ups are for losers. And my hair is frizzy.
Sami needs,
and it's like,
he needs a makeover for sure.
But there's so many other potential people.
Sure.
Like Kevin Owens is right there with him.
Kevin Owens is up there for sure.
Kevin Owens has been there. When it comes down to it, is the crowd going to be more Kevin? Are they going to be more Sami?
Right.
Like, which of those do they pick? I feel like that's kind of split. Jay Uso's kind of in that mix where they go, we really want to see one of the other guys break out and be that guy. And he's presented himself as main event Jay. Right. So do they want to see him get it? Drew's obviously put himself back in the mix, not as a good guy, but
that's, we're also dealing now with the are these two titles going to stay the two titles? Are we keeping, and if so, like, there are a lot of people here where I go, no, like, they have to go play on Raw. Like, they don't need to be playing in this sandbox with Cody.
But LA Knight is another guy who's so close to just
superstardom,
the next guy, because he can talk his way there. If we have an MJF, like, there's a lot of people that there's certainly always going to be, no matter who's running whatever it is. It's like, look, I have my upper main event people, and then I have my few champions. Like, you can't make everybody the fucking main event star, and they can't all be the title holders. Right. You're going to run with a few people, or because of whatever it is, like, right? Like, we may all go, I fucking love Sami Zayn. He's the best. He should be champion. There's always stories about, like, you try and have a meeting with Sami and he's overthinking things 30 different times. And someone like a Triple H may go, I can't fucking do a year and a half of him being champion and him driving me fucking nuts of like what he's going to say on this night in this place. Who knows? Like, the working relationship, maybe Triple H is like, Kevin Owens is fucking easy. Yeah. Like, I can work with him and we vibe and it's all fine. Like, he's my guy. And he shows up early. He leaves late. That like obviously what Cena was for Vince McMahon,
Right. Yep.
where it's he works like I
Yeah.
do. He fucking is in this for the long haul. That they're going to run with those people, and we don't know who those people
Right.
are.
Yeah. You know, there's also people that have a history with Cody who I don't want to see win the title from him, but could be good names to help build that championship resume, not the contender resume, but Randy Orton. There's a big legend who has history, which that's an easy story. Randy can turn heel whenever he wants. People will still cheer him next time he comes out. Doesn't really matter. It's fucking irrelevant with him, you know? I do think though that like, I don't know that I think that it's kind of a precarious place to be with him holding that title, trying to maintain the lightning in the bottle that currently exists.
But he's had that lightning in the bottle since the day he showed up,
right? Yeah.
Which is almost 3 years ago now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. 2 manias. 2.5. Well, no, 3 manias. Right? This will be his 3rd mania back.
Yeah, this will be his 3rd mania back.
Right.
So he's managed to only get people to love him more.
Right.
Because I would have thought it would have fallen off a while back. Because for a while, he only fought one fucking guy. Yeah, he fought like The Miz on TV, but he kept fighting Seth Rollins. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. This is the worst thing. But it was that Hell in the Cell match where it's my pec is torn from my body and I'm still here. And then any that watched the documentary about Mania and what he said to Vince and saying like, seeing the poster of Dallas, like all the banners hanging off of AT&T Stadium and going like, how do I be that guy? How do I be Stone Cold? How do I get on that banner that everybody's coming to see me? And Vince seeing that he has that drive, Triple H obviously also seeing that he has that drive, because Triple H has done many a fucking show where it's like, well, this thing ripped off my body and I'm going to keep going. It's not the Sin Cara like, my fingers jammed, stop the match. Jesus, really? I think he's old school in that way. While he's trying to protect everybody and do everything, he can clearly see like this guy's he's a different cat.
Right.
Like I'm running with it, and the fans feel it too. So I don't know what it's going to be. I don't know how they're going to keep Cody interesting, but they fucking done it. And Cody's also managed to do
for 2 manias long, for two chases,
and whatever little parlor tricks he's using that we don't know about, that he could tell you years later, right? He's like, when I would go on, I do this thing, and that makes the crowd love you that much more. I'm like, oh shit, it's a good little trick. I had no fucking idea.
What about our current Intercontinental Champion Gunther? I feel like,
what about him?
In the first Rumble, the two of them showed that they had incredible chemistry. I thought we were going to get sort of a repeat of that in some capacity this year, but I don't think that they crossed paths a ton.
Well, they were in the final 3 together.
Oh, okay. Right. Oh, yeah. That's correct.
So we got more.
A little bit more.
It was him and Punk.
There's what if, because right now Gunther is undefeated in main roster, right?
I don't know if he's
not including
overall. I know he's
Rumble
undefeated
matches,
as
obviously.
Intercontinental Champion.
Right.
And he's now the longest reigning.
Right. Because I feel like, not that the Intercontinental Championship should be on the line, but having him challenge for the world champ, whatever it is, the fucking belt that Cody has, the real one, having him,
the weight belt. Cody doesn't have a belt. What are you talking about? You said you can't see the future.
Him challenging for that title as Intercontinental Champion, knowing no one's beat me, and then Cody beats him, and now everybody's gonna. Now it's like, oh, I saw that you're beatable. So now all of a sudden the Intercontinental Championship is like this more sought after thing because everybody's stepping up because they're like, oh, I saw the weak spot. And then we can play the game of like, well, Gunther still wins. He still stays. I feel like that doesn't happen a lot. Like he can stay Intercontinental Champion, but fuck, he just couldn't win the big one. He couldn't win the bigger one. He couldn't, and he has this and he's still proud of it. And he still knows no one's going to beat me for this, but fuck, now he has, now he's the one chasing.
Could be.
Does that enough to turn Cody? I'm sorry, to turn Gunther babyface?
I think Gunther will just turn babyface in about a year's time anyway, because people will go, you're fucking undeniable, dude. Your matches are great, and we love what you do.
Right.
So we're not going to boo you anymore. It'll just be that turn of like, and whether Cody turns, and then it's the opposite, that Gunther then goes after Cody, and Cody's ducking him, and we just want to see Gunther destroy Cody.
Yeah.
But Gunther's definitely another candidate of who knows what happens in a year's time in the trajectory of things. Like if they haven't beat, if he's just still rolling strong. I fear this potential Mania coming up again where it's like, don't give him another multi-man thing.
Yeah.
Like let Gunther have another killer one-on-one match.
I also feel like,
but they're teasing this with him and Logan Paul where it's many, many men.
Yeah.
And then if he loses via
right,
somebody else pins somebody else.
It protects him, but he loses the title. I will say, like, I also feel like in recent years, there's been a lot of that guy loses the mid-card title and then immediately challenges for the champion, the world title, because we know the business is like, well, we want to push him, and so we're going to get this title off and get him out of this position. But it's like, that doesn't make any sense. He fucking lost the mid-card title. He should go down to the bottom of the line for that championship, not move up. So I would love a break in that.
Yeah, he can now be in the contendership for the world title, but it's like, yeah, you're at the back of the line.
And
good job, but that's what got you in this pool.
Yeah, but I feel like I'd love a disruption. I love something to disrupt that kind of thing that we've now seen over and over again, where it's like, no, I want to see the guy be in both, or, you know, lose one after he wins the other instead of, you know, like, I don't know. It's tough. I guess that's where the writing becomes difficult.
I feel like it has been the pool for so long where it's like, no, you can't just be jumping around. Like all the Intercontinental champions going for Money in the Bank. It's like, you have a thing. Fuck off.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I don't know.
You're being too greedy.
But if you had a dream scenario, what would it be?
If I had a dream scenario, Cody wins. You know, it's probably Rock and Roman win night one in the tag match,
which means
so it's bloodline rules.
Bloodline is over.
Going into night two, and everything is stacked against Cody. And Cody,
the Cody Avengers coming and help.
Cody's buddies only help with outside interference. Right. They never lay a finger on Roman. They never do anything to Roman to do that.
But they keep the bloodline.
So it's
they like put the rest of the bloodline in check, essentially.
So it's Cody wins the match decisively via his skill. Right. It's not because of someone else to lessen whatever Cody did. And it's also not the fault of like Rock fucked up and then Roman loses because of Rock. Right. Like, no, all credit and everything needs to go to Cody via him winning. He holds on to it, I'd say, for maybe like up to Survivor Series would be
okay.
Dream scenario.
That's about 6 months.
Then it is like
they're just 6 month mark.
Some other person, I guess I talk myself into my own thing. It's like, I would love a debuting MJF to fuck over Cody. And that he loses the title to some other person, a Drew, a Gunther, making some other big guy,
right?
But can get a kind of a shitty win because they're a bad guy. And then we've established MJF as something. We got Cody doing the next thing. It leads to Mania, yada yada yada. But that's my scenario of what I'd like to see at minimum. You know, I've extended my minimum now.
Sure, I like it. No, I like it. That's
I'll take 3 months. Yeah. But what about for you?
Oh, he loses at Mania and everybody riots. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, no, I think, yeah, I don't know. I think that Seth is going to play into this in some big way, and I'm okay with that as long as it's not just him versus Seth 25 more times. But Seth, all the points that he made to Rollins about like, this is the title that is here, that's being defended. This is the workhorse title, blah, blah, blah. I want to see them make good on that story. And so if Cody wins the championship from Roman, he does need to play the Cena role, not to necessarily the like open challenge every week, I'm going to defend the US title, but like, I want that he needs to win. He needs to defend that title on pay-per-view after pay-per-view after pay-per-view after pay-per-view. He needs to defend that title maybe even once or
the occasional SmackDown.
Yes, exactly. A last minute thing. Like, I really needs to set that fighting champion, that good guy, ultimate fighting champion doesn't turn down from a fight, to the point where maybe that's his downfall. Because then I think you save the character. You save the ultimate babyface of like, hey, he didn't turn down the fight that was 2-on-1. He went in there when it was stacked or whatever the thing is. Whether or not
certainly worked for him in AEW with the TNT title, where it's like you're fighting too much, you're taking on too many people, and you're willing to do whatever match they want to do, and you're not going to be able to survive this.
Right. Whether or not MJF is the guy, I don't know. It's hard for me to even envision that. Like that's such a. I mean, it's exciting.
Aren't you a director?
It's excited. I'm like, but I'm like a casting director. If you don't have a headshot of you looking like a doctor, I can't imagine it. Callbacks from 3 weeks ago, pre-shows. Okay. Yeah, I think. I don't know. I think Gunther. I think that Gunther's the guy. Whether or not he's still holding the Intercontinental Championship, I think I like that. Like as far as the person who takes it from Cody. I don't want someone to take it from Cody who's also been champion 12 times. I don't want it to be an Orton or a Seth Rollins or, you know what I mean? Like, I would like it to be another first-time world champ. I don't want it to be Damian Priest, like at all. I have zero interest in that at all whatsoever. In fact, I want Damian
Priest. What a tricky spot for him to be in where it's like, wow, what do we do?
I want him to be the very first person to not be able to cash it in. I want his contract to expire because R-Truth costs him that. I want him to, it's the final night and he has to cash it in because he waited too long and somehow R-Truth gets involved. R-Truth took the title out of the briefcase, so when he goes out there to cash it in, the ref opens it and he can't ring the bell because there's no contract in it. Something silly like that. And then the clock, oh shit, he has to do it by fucking midnight. Whatever. I don't know. Something fun.
If it was a dopier character than Damien, I love that idea. It's hard. It's hard because then like Damien goes down.
I know, but I'm okay with that. But also I get it. They don't want that, but I'm fine with him going down. I'm fine with, because
you hate tall people.
Yeah. I mean, listen, they can't do him any dirty than they did Baron Corbin, right?
Or Sandow.
Fuck. Damian Sandow.
So here's what I'd say. I think this is a good way of getting out of it, right? It's like he keeps looming on Cody. He keeps like trying to cash in and something like Cody's like waking up and go like, what? Like, come on, I dare you to do it. And he's like, nah, I can't. And then Cody eventually gets on the mic and goes like, you are a coward. You keep trying to get in the sneakily. Like you could be a future champion. You could be someone great, but why don't you actually challenge me to a match? Why don't you do it next week on SmackDown, right? Or whatever fucking show. It's like, do it. Like, just get in the ring with me one-on-one. You want to bring all your cronies, you want to put them around ringside, you do whatever you want, but like challenge me to a match. And then Damien gets sucked into it and does it, but then loses. And ultimately the Judgment Day can be pissed at him. It's like, why didn't you take how you could? And he could break out.
That could make him a baby face. Yeah, exactly. That could be his way to baby face them. Even though I think Judgment Day is at this point half babyface, half. Like, I think people do like Damian Priest. Like, I've noticed that he gets like a little bit more cheers than the rest of them. Obviously, everybody loves fucking Rhea. They love booing Dom, but they're excited when he's around. Right. JD is
JD Dirk.
Yeah, and I think Finn and JD are kind of like in the ethos right now of that group. But
Finn, they go like, oh, we're to boo him.
Sure,
we'll boo him. That's fine.
We accept these terms.
We also kind of like him,
right? I don't know. It's interesting. I think that it'll be interesting to see him with that title and what happens to the character, because
I think what's going to be
we didn't get to see it.
It's exciting that Cody can win it, and people are still going to be intrigued to see what happens. They're not just going to go, "Oh, you won."
Right.
Okay.
I do think though that the first person up is going to really set the tone, and I think it could go bad if it's somebody that nobody cares about, that we don't, because it's got to be somebody that we really want to see him beat again. Because it can't just be generic bad guy who comes up and we go like, yeah, we'll watch him beat him, but we don't care. And I think that's what happens all the time in these situations. Like, it's just like, oh, great, we're going to pull out some guy, Big Show comes out, and we're like, oh, fuck it, whatever,
Well, the first thing you do is that it gets tired is you do the rematch at Backlash, right? You go, well, that guy just lost it, so now we're going to have the match again. And you go, yeah, but they're not going to win it back.
Yeah.
We know they're not going to win it back. It's so rare that it does, and we don't buy it. Like, I don't want to see it again right away.
Right. That's worst case scenario. That's why I said earlier this Bloodline versus Cody story needs to end at Mania, in my opinion. That's the end.
No, but it's not over. You're just saying it's got to be a rest for a little bit.
Sure.
You
yes.
can't
No.
add The
You're
Rock
right.
to this entire
You're right.
thing.
You're 100% right.
And say,
well,
unless
it becomes less about Cody and it becomes The Rock versus Roman, that's fine.
Sure. But we're going to have this whole tag match. And if that tag match wasn't happening on night one, it feels like that's what Backlash is, right? Like, it's like you have a 3-on-3 or something where it's Rock on one side, Cody on the other, and whatever members of whoever's hanging out with who, aligning, because that's enough of a main event. And I'm also for not burning out the champ right away all the time. It's like, give him some tag matches. Let there be a special attraction.
I do wonder if the Rock and Roman win on night one of Mania, does Seth take a fall just to save Cody? Is it because the Bloodline gets involved and so Cody does take a pin from Roman, maybe even, but it's because he got hit with fucking knuckles, or, what I mean? Like, because there was something else, a foreign object, a belt. That way it still kind of saves Cody. Because I think that's a tough one.
You definitely fuck up Seth more because it angers Drew and what he had said. It's Drew's saying to Seth, don't take this match. Don't get more injured because that takes away from my title win. I want you 100%. So when I beat you, I'm at my best. And if you're not at your best, that takes away from me. So the selfishness of Seth gets more fucked up. Drew fights him, is mad. When he wins, it's like, you weren't at your best, and then can complain about that.
Or he doesn't win. Or he still gets beat and Seth's not even at his best, and then it's just even more fuel for his rage.
Well, I guess that's stuff for me to fast forward then in the future.
All right. Don't fast forward this. We are going to go take some hotline calls, but before we do, we must acknowledge our current PWP World Champ, Andrea Beeler, aka Pollinate, still writing her story. Record champion. If you want to challenge her once again,
more than Cody,
way more than Cody, please become a patron over at patreon.com/PWPalskis, so that you can have your name in the running for that prestigious world championship. Do you have something to say, or are you just doing a dance? I thought you were doing a
name up.
I thought you were doing like a wait, hang on a second. I got something to say, and I use fingers to let you know.
That'd be one of these.
All right, we're gonna go take some hotline calls. Thanks again for joining us live stream. Scott and Arbor, say goodbye, live stream.
Bye, live stream.
747-666-5606. That is the number of the Pro Wrestling Palskis hotline, or you can send a voice memo to hotline@pwpalskis.com. That's a hotline@pwpalskis.com. Scott and Arbor, would you like to see what the hotline has in store for us today?
Always.
With wings?
Hey, you hot dog maniacs. This is Cousin Paul from Long Island. I was watching Ring of Honor, and Dalton Castle came out to what sounds like a cover version of Queen's Radio Gaga. And it made me think of like WCW theme songs that were kind of similar. And I kind of missed that. Like, you kind of miss like the song that you recognize, but it's like thematic to a wrestler itself. I don't know what your thoughts are on that. I guess I'd just like to hear what your thoughts are. And if like you could assign a weird off-brand cover version of a popular song to which wrestler, what would it be and who would it be for? All right, I'll see you guys later.
Oh, my little cuz Paul, my little baby cuz, who's taller than me, I think.
You gotta eat your vegetables.
Asking about the music sound alike, the knockoff. Listen, as a musician myself, I'm well versed with knockoff music. Just listen to the theme song I wrote and recorded for On Your Mark, for the On Your Mark podcast. This is a common occurrence. I feel like nowadays, though, like, we get fucking people that just buy the real tunes. It's become a little more common.
Right. Yeah. I'm sure it makes it more difficult in the long run, but I guess we're not doing DVDs or the streaming. Someday there'll be an issue, I'm sure.
I mean, I feel like in the modern era, I kind of feel like Punk might have been the one who kind of more brought it to the forefront by having them actually get In Living Color, by having them get, I guess it's not In Living Color, it's just Living Color. In Living Color is the TV show.
Triple H kept having fucking Motorhead.
Yeah, but that was, I think, a relationship that already existed, and that he was getting songs for Triple H. Like he was like asking for songs.
Lemmy.
Yeah.
Leave
Can
me
you say
alone.
can you say the game a lot?
What about a King of Kings?
But do you know what I mean? I think that Punk was the first one that was like, oh, this is a song that I used on the indies. You know, that.
Well, I mean,
extent.
Taker was using licensed music.
Sure. Okay. All right. Sure. But I guess that was
X-Pac with Uncle Cracker.
All right. Sure. Okay. Fine. Great. Fantastic.
Uncle
All right. So,
Cracker.
what kind of sound-alikes and for who would you like to see? I mean, I do love a sound-alike. I love a knockoff song. I love
I would have thought
Yeah.
what would bother you.
No, it's fun, especially when it's like, oh, they're clearly trying to sound like that, but they switch this one part and they play those two notes in reverse.
I think you got to do Lady Gaga Polka Face.
Polka Face?
Yeah,
now
Polka
you're just doing
Face.
weird. Now you're just doing Weird Al songs. Who comes out to Polka Face?
Maybe Tiffany Stratton?
Really? Polka for Tiffany Stratton?
Yeah, Polka Face. Well, because Tamina's gone, so that's, for Poker Face, because it's that ma. You know, like that annoying. If you play it to the annoying degree, right? Like you twist it a little bit, and you're making it heelish rather than like the fun poppiness of it.
Okay.
Maybe you slow it down. So people are like, oh, no, you fucking ruined the song. Like, oh, I'm so mad at her.
All right. Okay. I feel like she's going to be a giant baby face. People will love her in no time, but I get it.
She's Australian. Are any of them baby faces?
People are getting, yeah, Rhea, kind of. No, she's a heel, but people like her anyway. They're
only allowed one.
I mean, only allowed one Australian good guy.
Yeah. Because, I mean,
Oh.
I'll tell you right now, I don't care for this Grayson Waller SpongeBob font business.
It's interesting. It's a choice. That whole
Because
brand
I don't get the same joy that I do of a SpongeBob out of Grayson Waller.
Shit. Who's a good? I will say I really liked Tyler Bates, like Peter Gabriel sound-alike that they came up with for NXT. It was like not quite Sledgehammer, but it was clearly the instruments that were used in Sledgehammer.
Okay.
That was good. I enjoyed that. Yeah, I mean, who would? Because I feel like in order for it to be a sound alike, it has to be somebody who we don't want to just hear the regular song, right? It's got to be somebody who the sound alike part of it is what makes it fun. I think Bailey, if she goes back to being a babyface, maybe like a somewhat obnoxious, like a song that sounds like Walking on Sunshine, but isn't quite Walking on Sunshine. Like
what about Elton John's Razorface?
Razorface?
So then everybody's like, has anybody seen my Bailey face?
I don't think we're talking about the same. We're not talking about parody songs. There's no lyrics.
I
sound
think
alikes.
what you're saying is,
you're in a completely different world than what my cousin is asking here. You're just coming up with Weird Al songs at this point.
I think I'm doing everything.
You're like, what if instead of Day by Day, it's Baylai Bay, and then it's kind of like Bailey's song.
I think that's a good one. I think we should knock that one down.
Day by Day.
Yeah, for the butt cleaners.
I don't know. This is a tough one.
This is your jam, literally jam.
It's literally my jam.
Music. All right, let me throw somebody out for you.
Okay.
It's like they need some new identity, right? Like they need.
Yeah.
They need
we're gonna repackage someone.
Chad Gable.
Oh, Chad Gable.
Because he has all that ding and like a ding. There's too many weird things in it, right? Like it's.
I can't pull his music right now off the top of my head anymore. I can't pull that. Is it the Alpha Academy?
Chings and dime. It sounds like they're in a fucking toy factory. Like it doesn't.
Really? Okay.
So it's like that. Chad Gable. He's a wrestler. Like he's a babyface. He's a tactical monster. Like, but he needs something that's a parody. A parody.
A parody, not a sound alike, but a parody.
All right, a sound like fine.
Let's see. I mean, he's if he's the
Or you can go Otis. I'll give you either one. I'll give you Otis or Chad.
Otis is way easier. Otis is going to be an obvious sound-alike of "I'm Too Sexy."
Oh,
everybody knows exactly what it is. They hire Jim Johnston. They say, Jim Johnston, create a song for Otis that sounds like "I'm Too Sexy."
What about CFO $?
The piano, the driving piano. Dun, 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 dun. I don't know who CFO $. Is. But "I'm Too Sexy." That is, and I want Otis to just I want him to catwalk the shit out of that ramp when he comes out.
But he's not a maximum male model.
His little thrust. Well, I know he's not. He's just Otis. He just is sexy.
He's not Otis.
No, he's not Otis. Which is what we would call him.
No, that's what it was.
Oh, wait.
This was the thing.
He was in Maximum Model? I don't remember this at all.
He was a prospect. And he was being referred to as Otis. Hence, we came up with this dumb shit because they kept going.
Fair enough. Well, let's return to this question in the extent of, do you have somebody who you remember? Like he's referencing, whoever the fuck he was referencing. Now I don't remember. Right. Is there one of these that you felt fondly of, where you like, oh, this is clearly not that song?
I think I was always a little weirded out by it because I would tend to think like for a DDP song, it was like, oh, why not just get their Nirvana song?
Right.
Or why not? It never made sense to me. And I, since I don't know, I don't know, is it parody law? Because you're going like, it's not the real song. We changed it a little bit.
No, as long as it's different enough, it's not parody at all. It's just a different song.
So I always thought like, isn't this not okay? It made me think about it too much. I don't know. I don't know. I can't come up with an original tune. I couldn't come up with the other things, but I just sat there as a fan and go like, why does it sound like something else? And I'm distracted from whatever it is I'm supposed to be watching. Like I'm watching DDP and going, so he's coming out to a not Nirvana song.
Well, listen, if Papa Roach ever sues Dragon Wagon Radio for the theme song to On Your Mark, I will let you know whether or not sound alike counts as parody.
All right. What? So you like these?
Yeah, I think they're kind
of. Is there one that you have fun?
Because they're sort of like corny. I feel like, I'm struggling to pull one specifically. I feel like a lot of it is like, oh, a guy who they couldn't use that song that he had on the indies, so they make one that is kind of like that. I feel like that's usually what it ends up being, or not even on the indies, on like or ECW when people would come over. And it was like not quite that song. I think RVD's was kind of a sound alike for a while of something. I think they they also made a fake AC/DC version, a song for Balls Mahoney, didn't they?
Yeah, that to me is like, no, I don't like this. Cause you can't start with the real song and then go instrumental, fake. No lyrics, fake-o song to mimic,
that's fair.
That one, because that was one. Sandman had another one too, where it's like,
not quite.
It's kind of got the tune, but it's not under Sandman. Like, no, that started at 10. You have to come up with a whole nother song.
Right, that's fair.
That's tough, because if they started with something else, like just instrumental, that maybe you get away with it, but you can't do something too great and then fucking down.
Because then it's just like your expectations shift, and you go, crap, that's not what that is.
Yeah. It's like the stuff that you hear on Peacock when you go, oh, all right, Hollywood Hulk Hogan, Voodoo Child. What is this?
Right.
Oh, it's really loud and
this is Jamie Hendrix.
Yeah. There's no parody lyrics. What the hell?
All right, let's see what else we got in the hotline call. Thanks for the call, cuz.
Hello, Palskis. It is Spits of Retribution here. And I was just calling a couple of years ago. Wrestlemania had a gimmick battle royal. And so I was kind of thinking, like, they're not doing that anymore, which is a shame. I thought they should do it every April, every time WrestleMania falls on April 1st. But what if they did a gimmick elimination chamber? Who would you put in the gimmick elimination chamber? What spots would you have them do? And who would be your winner? I was curious on your thoughts. Take care, y'all. Have a good WrestleMania season. Bye.
Ooh, gimmick elimination chamber. This is
That's
tough.
so fucked up.
It's so mean to do to these old, because I'm assuming that they're all old. If it's a
Right.
gimmick, and there are people who have terrible gimmicks, which means they probably weren't that great as wrestlers.
No,
That's not true. No, that's not true.
That is not true at
Okay,
all.
I know. I'm sorry. I don't mean to. I'm sorry, Brooklyn Brawler. All right, I put Brooklyn Brawler in there.
Look at the gimmick battle royal. There's tons of great wrestlers in there.
All right. So, is Tatanka count
As what?
as a gimmick? Is this sort of gimmick? 100%.
Of just being a Native American?
Yes.
When I think he is one.
Yes. No, he is. We did this once before on the show, where we contemplated its authenticity, and we found out that he is not Chief J Strongbow, just some Italian guy.
Right, yeah, because it was Chief J Strongbow at all. Sure.
Okay.
Let's just, for the sake of expediency, yes.
Then yeah, I'm putting Tatanka in.
Okay.
Um,
What other race cards are you playing for your gimmick elimination chamber?
what other what cards?
Race cards.
Oh, I took my headphones off momentarily just to take my sweater up, and I thought you said what other race cars, and I was like, yeah, we could put Bob Sparkplug Holly in there. I'm fine with that.
Hell yeah.
Okay, Bob Sparkplug Harley. There's my first two.
Holly.
Then you do the next two, and then we'll each do one, and we'll have the sticks.
Okay. Let's see here. Other gimmicks. They're not dead. Oh, mine's fucking easy.
Okay.
Masse and Mansoor.
Does that count?
You don't think that those are gimmicks?
Oh, you're breaking the rules here. All
How
right.
am I breaking the rules?
Because that's different. All right. No, that's fine. All right.
What's wrong with
So
that?
is
You
it any wrestler
picked
that has a
dude
gimmick?
Sheerly on his race and went gimmick.
All right. Fine. All right.
I picked maximum male models.
All right. So first off, things are not looking good for my first two picks on winning this match. Okay. And then, I mean, I don't know. I feel like Bob Holly could still probably fuck some shit up. I'm going then.
He can
All right.
turn it into another gear at any second.
I'm going Adam Rose.
Oh, just because you want to see. You just want to meet him.
No, I would listen. If anything, I would have gone Kruger if that was the case. But I'm going Adam Rose.
Well, that's not a gimmick. Come on.
It's just who he is.
Now, wait. Is he allowed to have his rosebuds in the pod with him all partying?
No, but it's they all start. So he's the first one out. Okay, not first one eliminated. First one out to the ring. So they're partying. They're partying around the ring, and then he opens the pod, and then they start to come in. And he's like, no, you can't, you guys can't come in. And like the bunny is in there, and Braun Strowman is back again, and he's wearing his fucking Viking helmet. And, everybody's trying to get, and he's like, no, you can't fucking, and then it takes like 45 minutes for them to get these fucking, what were they called? The rosebuds, to get the rosebuds out of this goddamn pod.
My final one, it's very easy. Causes strife and turmoil. And what side do you choose? Slapjack.
All right. So you picked two of three members of Retribution.
Yeah.
And
because Masse is going to have to figure out like, oh, am I more Mace or am I more Masse?
Okay. So we've
already
building
stories, man.
We've already established
finished Cody's story in this episode.
Yeah.
I'm building
All right.
stories.
So
for
we've
Retribution and Maximum Male Models.
We've already established that Adam Rose is in the pod first. Who's the second person to go in a pod?
Second person to go in a pod is clearly Masse.
Oh, really? You're not going to have him start? I thought you would have him maybe start.
No,
okay.
because when he
Masse?
comes out, he's got to make a decision.
All right. So third person in a pod is Tatanka, just because I think it'd be entertaining to watch him sit and wait in a pod in a giant headdress.
Okay. And then
Who's the third pod person, which means who's starting. We still have at play Mansoor, what the fuck was his name? I don't remember what his maximum amount name was.
Mansoor.
I only remember ours. Okay, so we have Mansoor, we have Slap Nuts, and we have
Slapjack. Slapjack's going in because I have to see 2 to 5 minutes of Mansoor versus Bob Sparkplug Holly.
All right, so Mansoor versus Bob Holly starts off. Mansoor won the greatest battle royal of all time, largest, biggest Saudi
No.
Oh wait, no, he didn't. He won the. No, he did. He did win the greatest.
The greatest Royal Rumble?
Yeah, didn't he win that, or was that the one that
No,
Braun won?
that's Braun Strowman.
Okay, but I thought. All right, never mind.
I think he won some single matches.
No, he won.
Maybe he won like against
I thought
a few scrubs, but let me see here.
I think he won one of those big battle royals, but I think it was before they named it that. Maybe.
Well, it wasn't the greatest Royal Rumble.
No. Okay.
I know that.
All right.
For certain.
Okay, understood. It might have been just whatever that first one was. All right,
I think it'll be fairly easy to find that match.
So yeah, I was trying to find, and I can't find. Everything comes up this gimmick. I can't find just his like actual Saudi record.
Well, there's two sites that do like full lists of matches for people.
Got it.
So it's mostly just about I got to know what year it is to find it, or recognize the little crown jewels or bullshits. Super Showdown 2019 51-man Battle Royal. Mansoor was the winner.
There you go. And that was not the greatest, right?
No, because I'm looking at these names and I'm looking for anyone that I go, come on, who we got here? Your biggest names that I can spot are in 2019 are Miz, Xavier Woods, Shinsuke, and then it all goes downhill from there. I mean, he beat Tozawa, Kendrick, No Way Jose.
Oh man, we missed out on
Mojo Rawley.
No Way in this match.
Sunil Singh. So yeah, I mean, there's a couple other
all right. So
okay names, but yeah, that's the one he won. So you were
all right. So is
kind of right, but I was just thinking the greatest battle royal because that was called the greatest.
Right. All right. So in any case, what
Royal Rumble?
What does another person come out before one of the two is eliminated? Are we stacking this match?
Like the Goon? Like he just shows up and
no,
like,
one of them come out of the pods. Does somebody enter the match?
We put all 4 members in the pods.
I know. I'm trying to book the match. The 2 guys start, and then is one of them eliminated before somebody comes out of a pod?
Good God, no, because we have to have the story.
Great. All right, perfect. So who's the first person out of a pod?
Adam Rose.
Adam Rose, first person out of the pod. He's fucking sucking on lollipops and being all weird. And
tries to get both to dance.
Yep, he gets.
I think Mansoor is quick to join the train.
He really likes the way Mansoor moves. He's like, you look fantastic. You should be in my.
And Sparky Plug is like too slow. Wants it to go faster
because he knows about going fast, and he's also very good at pit stops. All right, great. And then does one of them get eliminated before the next person comes out?
Why did Sparky Plug Holly never check anyone's oil?
Because I don't think they could have done that on TV at the time.
If only he showed up in the Attitude Era, that's what it would have been all about. He would have been checking everybody's oil.
He would have been checking your dipsticks.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so does somebody get eliminated before another person comes out?
Adam Rose.
Adam Rose is eliminated immediately. Great, fantastic. Thanks for coming. And then the party people just like bring him back out, and everything's great. Great.
I think Tatanka comes out next.
All right, so now we got the 2 old guys versus Mansoor, the winner of the largest battle royal in history.
Tatanka starts, just really taking everybody to task. Like he's fresh. He was undefeated 38 years ago.
Great, fantastic, awesome.
He's doing great, but they can't eliminate Mansoor. He's a slippery fella, that guy.
Yeah, he's a little wiry.
And then Slapjack comes out next.
Oh shit! And does Slapjack just clean house?
No, he hides.
Oh,
climbs up his pod
crawl
and
up?
he's like, I'm staying up here.
All right. And he's just like clinging to the ceiling like a little Spider-Man.
Yeah, and then finds a moment and then starts attacking. Starts going after Mansoor.
Oh no. And then what's Tatanka and the Sparky Plug doing this whole time?
They're fighting each other. They're doing things. They're doing chops and throwing each other into pods and such.
All right.
And then Massey comes out and has to decide. And he's like, who do I fight?
All 5.
And then Slapjack and And Mansoor like, you get him. We were Retribution. You get him. We're Maximum Male Models.
And then what happens?
Then what happens?
I'm on the edge of my seat.
Tatanka and
Bob Sparky,
Sparky Plug Holly both do roll-ups to Slapjack and Mansoor, and then the ref does a double count. One, 2, 3, both eliminated.
Oh no!
And Mansoor's like, what have I done?
Oh, Marseille you meant, not Mansoor. You said Slapjack and Mansoor. You meant Marseille.
Marseille stood there, didn't make a decision.
Got it.
And then went, I chose no one. I didn't do anything.
And now I'm better off because of the match. Now I'm one of 3 now. So it's the best case scenario.
I'm one of 3 and I'm the biggest guy.
And then he wins.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I was asking. It was a question mark.
There was no question, right? And then he went.
Great. All right. Perfect. All right. Well, I think we sufficed that question. Good job. Well done.
Yeah, gimmick elimination chamber in Perth.
Why was it in Perth?
Because that's where they didn't want to fly it back. They're like, this thing is way too heavy.
So heavy. Took 3 planes.
So many wrestlers complained when we just stuck them in there in a cargo plane to just save money.
We're gonna ship it via a sailboat. We're gonna put it on a big boat.
Like what a kid do if he had to pack to move and just like stuck a bunch of toys inside of an elimination chamber to save room. That's what the WWE did.
We stacked a bunch of wrestlers
inside of it, stuck them in a cargo plane. They're like, not cool.
Well, speaking of action figures, and Maximum Male Models and Retribution, it's time to thank our Patreon, Palsky, Scott Narver. Patreon is the best way to support this program. This is a big week here in Dragon Wagon Radio. It is the 7-year anniversary this week, as of tomorrow. If you're listening to this the day it comes out, 7-year anniversary of Dragon Wagon Radio. It's 7 years we've been bringing you podcasts of all different sorts of highest possible quality to our budget, and all for absolutely nothing, all for free. All we ask is that every now and then you consider throwing your support our way. A lot of great ways to do that. You can check out the shop over at dragonwagonshop.com. You can donate directly over at dragonwagonradio.com/support. And the best way is month in, month out. Please consider becoming a patron of your favorite show like Pro Wrestling Palskis. Scott, we have to thank our current Patreon Palskis.
Well, and this Friday the 15th is Jake Lloyd Bacon's birthday. And what better way to say I love bacon than with a Hot Dog-a-Mania t-shirt designed by the man himself, because we all know hot dogs are made up of bacon and all kinds of other things that you find under the bleachers. So
under the Bleacher Report, that is when the feed is on.
Yeah, because it's garbage. So go check out Hot Dog Mania shirts. Buy them for your friends. Buy them for other wrestling fans, because that will go over as a great gift, and they'll be like, "This
100%.
is amazing! It's Hulk Hogan as a hot dog. I love it!" And they'll wear it wherever. They'll wear it to the graduation. They'll wear it to the funeral. Wherever, any of life's big moments, someone will wear it as a damn tuxedo for their wedding. So it's a great gift. It's a great way to say thank you to Jake. Happy birthday to Jake by supporting and buying this amazing new design of a t-shirt. So thank you to all of our current Patreon Palskis, the only place where you can get a Retribution and a Maximum Male Model name. So thank you to Alex Pierce, a.k.a. Figs, a.k.a. Zitoys, Alice Raider, a.k.a. Invasion, a.k.a. Yves Joie, Andrea Beeler, a.k.a. Pollen Hate, a.k.a. Achu Detest, a.k.a. the current PWP champ, Curtis Mason, a.k.a. Hurtis, a.k.a. Auche, Gilbert Short, a.k.a. Goliathon, a.k.a. Batal Underoos, Maslama, a.k.a. Spitz, a.k.a. Jakara Lover, Michael Beltran, a.k.a. Limestone, a.k.a. La Naturelle, Miguel Diaz, a.k.a. Bipod, a.k.a. Too Much Husk, Mike Lucas, a.k.a. Hackensack, a.k.a. Luge, Testicle, Strong Style, a.k.a. Gaines, Suicide, a.k.a. a.k.a. Tim Bemis, a.k.a. War Trek, a.k.a. Tussle Quest, Tim Redbeard, a.k.a. Blood Fuzz, a.k.a. Bleu de Fusée, Tom Hader, a.k.a. Cupid, a.k.a. Cherub, and Tony Griggs, a.k.a. Big Griggs, a.k.a. Grand Grisois.
Thanks to each and every one of you for your continued support of the program. Find us on the social medias. I'm at Jake Lloyd Bacon. He's at Scott Narver. We are at PW Palskis, wherever you social media. We even got a threads, I think. I started threading you guys. So find us in all those places. What did you say?
What does that mean? You're threatening
Threads?
the listeners?
No, thread with a D. Thread. Clean this shit out, you
Yeah,
guys.
thread. Yeah, with a D with death.
Yeah. What else? What else we do at the end of this? You guys know the stuff. Listen, it's a big week. Do your part.
Support.
We appreciate
Jake's
you.
birthday.
We appreciate
Spread
you.
the word about the show. Just helping out Dragon Wagon Radio. Jake does all of this.
I do.
He puts it all together. He's the one. He moved cross country. He's doing other things, like he's helping out family, but yet he still keeps all of the shows going, all the entertainment. This show's up and functioning. Like Jake's doing this all the time.
All the time.
So show love, show appreciation,
Thank you.
spread the word about shows, buy some merch,
Thank
tell people about it, all that good stuff.
Thank you, Scott. Very kind of you to acknowledge me. I do appreciate it. Yeah, I guess that'll do it. We'll see you guys all next time. We hope you had fun. As always, an absolute blast hanging out with you, the Pro Wrestling Palskis. Hey everyone, Jake Lloyd Bacon here.
Along with Paul Bianchi.
And Alexandra Hoy.
Hey, we all host different shows on Dragon Wagon Radio.
We do, but that's not what we're here to talk about.
Not at all. We are here to talk about Dungeons and Dragon Wagon,
A narrative podcast series in which we venture into a mythical land for a D&D inspired role-playing game.
Alexandra and I are joined by Matt Hinksman and a very special guest of quest for each chapter of an epic saga in which we must take on the roles of half-orcs, dark elves, and more as we fight our way through a fantastical land of peril, drama, and often hilarity.
All of which is controlled by me, the Dungeon Master, and the player's chance rolls of the die.
And our show is for everyone. Even if you know nothing about D&D or role-playing games, we've got you covered.
That's right, our game sessions are highly edited, easy to follow, sound designed from top to bottom, and completely immersive.
Yeah, our episodes sound more like a well-produced radio drama than an RPG show.
So what are you waiting for? Join the adventure on Dungeons and Dragon Wagon at dndwpod.com or wherever you find great podcasts.
It's Dragon Wagon.